There have been two moments in my life when I was happiest. The first was the day I met Josh.
I'm Josh.
I'm Iris. And the second, the day I killed him.
Thank you so much for taking the time.
Oh, yeah.
I love this movie.
Oh, thank you.
I had so much fun with it.
Great.
But with something like this that's filled with twists and turns, how do you collaborate with the marketing team to make sure they don't reveal the biggest surprises?
Welcome to my life for the last 5 months. I mean, that's just a push and pull. Like you want to, there's two sides. So you want to just have this experience that's fresh and you want everyone to go in like not knowing anything about it. But, this is also a movie that's getting a wide release. It's an IMAX movie. You need to sell tickets. You can't just, it's not a word of mouth movie. You can't rely on just like the slow build. So, I understand where they're coming from, so it's like that push and pull of like just experimenting. So there were like many trailers that we were like, okay, well, what is the least amount of information you can give without making people go like, I don't know what this is. You need to sell it. You need to you can't make movies these days or marketing that's like, trust us, you're going to like this movie, because there's Netflix. You can stay at home and watch 1 billion movies, and there's so much noise, and so you have to cut through the noise. With that was a tough needle to thread, and I think they nailed it.
Absolutely, this is definitely one I think you need to see in a theater with an audience that doesn't know what is coming next.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and people are really good at that. I think that there are so many, I just assume that everyone's going to get spoiled somehow, but I've been finding a lot of people are really good at tuning out the noise.
Yeah, it's hard. I've told everyone, just go into this one as blind as possible. Just go see it.
Yeah, stay off Instagram. Don't look at a poster. Don't look at a billboard. Yeah.
Well,
close your eyes when you just leave your
yeah.
apartment. Close your eyes and
just
then,
go.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I want to talk to you about Sophie. She's incredible in this movie. So what is it about her that made her the perfect Iris?
That is a great question, and I feel so blessed that she did this movie, because I can't imagine anyone else in that role. But when we were in casting it, I truthfully thought Iris was going to be the easy one and Josh was going to be the hard one, because I thought it'd be really hard to get a young male actor to play such like a toxic person. But the irony is that Jack came in immediately. He read the material and he just was like, oh, I want to do this, and he's charismatic and he sold it and did such a great job. But then the exact opposite with Iris, because I didn't really realize at the time that it's two characters in one. It's like the first half, Iris is docile and passive, and you need to buy that she would just, be in this relationship and she's not going to stand up for herself. And then there's a moment halfway through the movie where she's activated, literally, and then the second half, she's now this other character where she's standing up for herself. She's you buy her as an action star, a badass, someone that is standing up to Josh. And there were so many actors that nailed the first half, but they couldn't nail the second half. And then there were so many actors that could nail the second half, but then you're a badass, you're so good, but then you put them in in the scene with them against Josh, and I don't buy you as passive.
Yeah.
Your badassness is just coming through in everything you're doing. And so when Sophie came along, we did a chemistry read over Zoom, which is not a way that you should ever do a chemistry read, because it's just a little box, on the screen, but we had to, because he was in London, Sophie was in LA, I was in New York.
Wow. And
their chemistry just, over Zoom was just apparent. And she just nailed the first, we did 3 scenes. We did a scene in the beginning, a scene in the middle, and a scene in the end. She nails the first one, she nails the second one, she nails the third one. It's no one had done that up to that point. It just became obvious. There's one option, and it's Sophie. And because I'm so negative and so pessimistic, I'm like, well, we're gonna screw it up. I've fallen in love with this actor in this role, and we're not. Obviously, it's not gonna work out. But luckily, it did. And I'm sitting here talking about how amazing she is.
Yeah, she's absolutely incredible. Yeah. One thing I really, really love about this movie, though, is it's funny too. It's scary. It's kind of like a thriller horror, but then it's funny. And can you talk about kind of finding that perfect blend, that perfect balance?
Yeah, so I come from a comedy background. So I wish that I had that in the comedy was in the first draft. I wish I could say that was inherently in the story. But I think with a lot of comedy writers, because it's just naturally like where my brain goes, I think that because it's easy, I shouldn't I feel like maybe it's a crutch sometimes. So the very first draft of Companion had no humor in it, like zero, and it did not work. It felt like a Black Mirror episode, but like a bad Black Mirror episode. And I would send the draft to like friends, and you would get that response. I was like, "Yeah, it's good." Like your voice went up a little bit at the end. It's not good.
You're a liar.
And it wasn't until I was reading it and saying, "Yeah, you're kind of denying like your voice. Like let's see what it would be like if you started inserting your sense of humor." And I don't really write jokes, which made it hard to cut the trailer because the jokes are very specific to like the circumstances, and you have to understand the context for them to be funny. But yeah, once you have that, and it's a very absurd world and a situation with a robot breaking up with its owner, it's ripe for comedy. So yeah, it was fun to go back and like give myself permission to be like, yes, you can have fun with this. You can make it a little funny.
Yeah, where did this inspiration come from for this movie?
Every story is different. Every project is different. This one, it felt like I've never had an idea come to me so fully baked before. Like the first day that it popped in my head, I had, 3 couples go to a cabin in the middle of the woods. One of them finds out they're a robot, and then, the shit hits the fan, and like people get picked off one at a time. And my instinct was to make her the antagonist. Like the very first version of it, I was like, "Oh, she's the robot. No one's going to relate to the robot. She's got to be the bad guy." And we see the story from the point of view of Josh. And then as I'm writing it, I'm just finding myself relating to her more and more and more. And then it became like, oh, could I tell a story where the robot is the most relatable character? Can I tell a story where you empathize with like the robot? And that became that's when I really started to love the idea. Yeah.
It's so good.
Thank you very much.
I absolutely had so much fun with this.
Thank you.
It was one that, like, as soon as it ended, I was like, I can't wait to watch it again.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, watch my friends watch it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I'm guilty of that, too. Like, twist movies where I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
They're like, I know something's coming. Why are you staring at me? Yeah. Well, as someone who wrote it and then directed it, do you find it harder or easier to, like, change things in the moment?
Yeah, I've been in the business long enough to know that, like, there's limitations to like how my brain works, and the fun of filmmaking is the collaborative nature. You do like I want to like kind of have about 80% of it, and then have everyone else fill out the other 20%, because I think as a director's job, it's not just to be like, yes, it's this. It's not that Alfred Hitchcock he made the movie in his head, and then it just was like we're making that movie. Like that's not fun. There's a reason why he didn't enjoy the shooting of movies, because you're just taking out like the fun and the discovery, and make it collaborative, and actors will bring in ideas that you never even occur to you, or like makeup, or hair or wardrobe. Like you open your ears to like any idea, because like the best idea wins out, and just strip away the ego, and let's just make a movie as long as it's filtered through the story. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is there one part or scene that was maybe the most challenging to nail down filming-wise?
There's always going to be that one scene that you didn't see coming. This one I knew was going to be tough, was the Officer Hendricks thing, because we only had 8 hours to shoot that, and there's like there's 3 stunts within that scene. And then also Sophie doesn't speak German, so she had to nail her German, and if she's stumbling and the sun's going down and you still have these other stunts you got to shoot, like you're screwed. And luckily, I think when like I yelled cut for the last shot, it was right as the sun like disappeared across the horizon, so we barely got through like the skin of our teeth. But yeah, that was a very stressful day.
Well, it came out great.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And then final question, a fun one. If there was an app that could change your appearance or personality, what would you mess with? What setting?
With everything. I would make myself taller. I would give myself like a gorgeous head of hair, and confidence, and too many. There would be too many things I would want to change. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Love the movie.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
The moment we locked eyes, there was just a spark.